Welcome to this best of 3 match between ManInGreen and Magnus in Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. We are following normal tournament rules where first game is arena, then both players have picked a home map, and the loser of the first match will then get to play his home map, and then if we get that far, the last home map will be played as game number 3. Without further ado, we will try to get into the match. Obviously, the spectator function in Definitive Edition is not optimal yet, so I have to find the game. Hopefully that will be without much problems. So it should be ManInGreen's game. There we are. And they are playing Arabia, hopefully. Yes, they are. We have Bulgarians for ManInGreen and Franks for Magnus. Let's take off the Fog of War. And we see ManInGreen has a good start. He sees his sheep right away, get the houses up, and starts scouting. Magnus seems to be doing the same thing. Short housing there for ManInGreen, but otherwise it looks very even. We see ManInGreen is blue, Magnus is red. Again, Magnus in red is Franks, and ManInGreen in blue is Bulgarians. Quick look at the maps. ManInGreen has forward stone and then a side stone. So the stones are a bit exposed, and there's no back golds. The golds are actually absolutely terrible for ManInGreen. They are far forward. This one's on a hill, very hard to mining camp around this one. This one's far out, at least relatively. So yeah, gold situation for ManInGreen is not good. He can not really wall very comfortably because of his gold. I mean, the wood lines are nice, so yeah, he can wall, but again, the gold will cause problems because he'll have a hard time getting gold safely within his walls. Compare that to Magnus' base, where the gold is in the back, nice and safe. Stone, on the other hand, is really bad for Magnus. It is far forward, and they are both piles are close together. So this is very ripe for towering or pressure. So at least it's a bit fair in that sense. I think gold will be more important for these two players, though. So if we see aggressive action, I think ManInGreen will be in a worse situation because of his forward golds. We have populations. Let's get the scoreboard up. Here, yep. It's dead even. 11 villagers for each player, so it seems both are playing pretty smooth. I think they feel a bit of pressure here. I think they're a bit stressed out, I would guess so. It's I know it's their first. It's at least their first best of 3 and first arranged series. So I would at least be a little anxious to take the first game here, if I were them. We can see that Magnus is sticking to 4 on wood. ManInGreen, on the other hand, is going pretty heavily onto wood with, that is 6 villagers on wood. And no house coming up for ManInGreen, so he will have a housing here, whilst Magnus, he's also housed, so they're actually walking into the same housing trap there on 15 pop. Magnus throws down 2 houses to be clearing the 20 mark. But ManInGreen is only putting down 1 for now, it seems. Oh, that must have been a misclick. Oh, this is not good. These villagers are walking away from the unfinished house. And he is still housed, yes. That was a bit nasty. For sure. ManInGreen is getting the second boar in. So is Magnus. Bit of idling here. Compare that to ManInGreen, who was actually taking cows while waiting for the boar. It's been a little rough around the edges so far. The fact that ManInGreen is still housed is quite bad. But despite that, Vil difference is actually not huge. Okay, we have a 2 Vil difference now because of ManInGreen's prolonged housing. But I think he can recover from this. Magnus is not playing perfectly either, so there is definitely still hope. The game is still young. Let's look at scouting. We need to have Fog of War. No. Fog of War, there. Okay, ManInGreen, he has been doing nice circles around his base, so he would know by now that his gold situation is not too good. He's actually walling to this gold in a bit of an awkward way, cutting himself off from the best way to take this gold. Mining camp here would probably be the best. But he's probably planning on taking a different gold pile as his first gold. He's getting his second lumber camp up. That's good. Still no berries though for ManInGreen. That will probably come back and haunt him at some point. But he is actually pretty much ready to click feudal on 19 pop. So if he's doing, for instance, a scout build here, he might be okay. Magnus, on the other hand, he has better scouting because he has kept his scout going. And that is probably showing in the score here. This is a bit of population lead and a bit of scouting lead going into the score difference. Let's see Magnus. He might be going for a fast castle. Yeah, he's going to gold. He has 9 on wood. He's starting farming. This looks like a fast castle. I think this will catch ManInGreen out. He's walling pretty heavily. It does not look like he's planning aggression. In his current position, aggression would probably be the best play. Letting Magnus do an unopposed fast castle is going to be really dangerous for ManInGreen. ManInGreen, however, is going feudal, so he will have a much earlier feudal age than Magnus. If he realizes what's going on and manages to take some sort of initiative, he might still be okay. But I fear for ManInGreen's position here. There is no barrack yet. He has not scouted Magnus. He doesn't know where he is, although he can of course guess that he is on the opposite side of the map as he is. But yeah, there are no signs of any plans of early aggression here from ManInGreen, which I think is unfortunate for him. Back to Magnus. He is not planning on getting housed again. He's actually close though, but he will put down a lot of houses to create a wall here. He is a bit open, considering he's going fast castle, because he's on 28 pop. He was 28 pop when he clicked feudal age. So this is very risky. This is a completely naked fast castle. I'm assuming he's thinking knights for the next stage, considering he's Franks, and he is a little more heavy on gold than he would have had to be if his plan was simply to boom. And after all, this is Arabia. You're usually doing something aggressive if you hit Castle Age first. Like you want to take advantage of that militarily. And here we see a double stable going down. I fear this is going to get really nasty for our blue player. Magnus is scouting out ManInGreen's base. Let's take out Fog of War so we can see what's going on here. He sees the wood line. This is a very ripe target for these knights that will... Well, I'm talking about these knights as if they're coming out very soon. Magnus has not clicked Castle yet, and he is a little low on food. His build was not perfect. He's waiting for his food now. And he actually seems to be forgetting that he needs a second building. He's forgetting what should probably be a blacksmith. So the Castle Age will be delayed compared to what it could have been. Maybe that can be a saving grace for ManInGreen. We will see. Yeah, ManInGreen is smelling the danger here. He is walling up. He's even double walling some places with stone walls. These are quite extensive walls. He is taking a lot of real estate with these walls, but he kind of has to because of his golds. Unfortunately, though, he's not really securing too many golds here. He has this one. That's a 4 pile. Yeah, the 4 pile gold. So he will have quite a lot of gold. It's 3,200, right? 4 times 8. Yeah, I think so. So that will get him quite a way, but once he needs to go out to these outer golds, if they are being pressured, he will potentially struggle. Magnus is actually taking stone outside of his walls. We mentioned early that he has very forward stones, and he's just solving that by not even caring. He's walling them out. We will see if that will be a problem for him later. Time will show. The blacksmith is up, a market is up, and Magnus is on his way to Castle Age with a healthy economy behind that. 33 vills. Well, considering he was kind of late to click, he probably could have had a few more vills, but it's not too bad. Resources are good, quite good, considering he is planning knights. I don't know if he has picked up any upgrades yet. Let's check. We are on Magnus's point of view, yes. He has not, at least not yet. ManInGreen is still in feudal age. He's a little low on gold, and he has massive amounts of stone. He did build a market. He might sell. We'll see if he thinks of that possibility to speed up his Castle Age time a little bit. Maybe now that he sees Magnus has clicked, he gets a sense of urgency here and does what he has to do to get to Castle as fast as possible, because he really needs Castle Age now. He actually has a scout cav inside Magnus's base, so he could use that to look around and see what's going on. Let's go to Magnus's view, and the scouts are coming. Sorry, the knights are coming. Okay, we have a fight here. ManInGreen is almost losing the scout, but he gets away, so he still has that potential to see what is going on. Will he see the knights? He definitely will see the knights because they're chasing him down. So that's not a secret anymore. Not that it's very secretive to go knights with Franks in the first place, but the score lead is rather high. And that is due to scouting, it is due to army, and it's due to villagers. It's not yet due to town centers, though. Magnus does have a population lead, I believe. He does, but it's not big. In villagers, but of course the military is 7-0. So Magnus has a lot of potential to do damage here. We also see that, well, now ManInGreen fixed his idols. He had quite a lot of idols just a moment ago, but he took care of that. At least brought it down. That is a scout, yeah. And there, ManInGreen is actually reaching Castle Age without taking any damage. So both players are fairly passive here and not really taking advantage of early possibilities to do damage. First, we had ManInGreen in Feudal Age for quite a while, whilst Magnus was still Dark Age, where some scouts definitely could have gotten in to hurt Magnus's economy. Then Magnus was in Castle Age for quite a while, had knights, easily could have broken through weak spots in ManInGreen's defenses, but at this point ManInGreen actually seems to be close to fully stonewalled. There's this gap here that is still open, but it remains to see if Magnus will find that. If he does not, he will just run into stone walls. Actually, here there's also gap in the stone walls, only protected by palisades, but walling behind this shouldn't be too hard. So in reality, there's only this passage here that is truly open into ManInGreen's base. Magnus, on the other hand, he is fully walled, either with buildings or with stone walls. He has also gotten his second town center up, and he's building a third. So Magnus was actually just putting up some stables, made some knights to be safe, and now he is going for more of a boom. ManInGreen, he is also on 2 TC so far, pretty sure about that. Let's just be sure. Yeah, that's 2 TCs, but he's building a third one. This is what we would call a farm TC for sure, not really securing any resources, which is rather unfortunate for ManInGreen, as he really has resources to secure, considering these golds that are far away from the starting TC. We get one Vill kill there from a scout cav going into ManInGreen's base. We should probably see some villagers fighting back here, or at least escaping into the town center. I'm assuming this scout will eventually die. He has done way too much damage. There he goes down, but that was a lot of value for that scout inside ManInGreen's base. 2 villagers I counted, I believe, yeah, and quite a few forced into being idle. Magnus is moving around with his knights. And we'll see if we get any... Oh, we get a cut. Is he aware of the palisade trick? No, it seems he is not. It seems he is not. He is cutting this tree, but he is not palisade jumping it. So he's probably unaware, but it doesn't matter because there's an opening. Will we have a quick wall? Will we have a quick wall? No, there's no quick wall. Magnus is in. He is for sure in. I do not see a way these knights can be stopped at this point. The ability to quick wall is gone. The wood line is raided. This is bad. And it is not only bad, it is game ending. It is GG. Magnus takes the first game. Not too surprising when seeing how the game developed. This was pretty dominant from Magnus, and he played his Franks fairly well. The fast castle wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. The knights came out. He boomed a little bit behind just to be secure with a stable economy at home. He found a way into ManInGreen's base, and ManInGreen was defenseless pretty much with no army. Well played for Magnus. He takes the first game, which means we will go on to ManInGreen's home map for game number 2, which is Black Forest.